Hello YouTube and Merry Christmas. Today on Super 56K's Basement Arcade, I figured we'd fix an arcade game. Follow me. And that would be 1981's Centipede by Atari. Now, I've already done a lot of work to this game, and it's almost to the point I would call perfect. However, there's still one issue that really bugs me, and it's with the picture tube. Allow me to show you. Now, it may not be so noticeable now, but let's look a little closer. And let's go ahead and turn out the lights. There. Do you see it yet? Do you see the problem? Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Notice that some of the text and graphics, especially up here in the upper left-hand corner, are not perfectly straight. In fact, there's a little bit of double vision going on. See the zeros there? Look a little bit blurry. And the outlines around the mushrooms aren't exactly very crisp. And look at this at the bottom here. Copyright, 1980 Atari. See how the text isn't exactly straight with the bottom of the screen? Now, some might say these problems could come down to screen convergence. That's to say that the guns are not perfectly aligned with each other. However, look at this side of the screen. If you look over here, and we can focus there we go, everything appears to be straight. In fact, the text in the center screen is almost perfect. I mean, there's a little bit of bend because the picture tube's rounded, that's normal. But everything's straight, and all the geometry seems fine up here. So I think more than likely what the issue is a physical defect with the tube itself. In fact, it might even be that at some point in time this tube was dropped and the shadow mask is bent. Just for clarification's sake, this monitor's already been recapped, it's already been gone through, the chassis appears to be working perfectly fine. So the next thing I'd like to try is swapping the picture tube. Now the monitor inside of this Centipede is an Electrohome G07. That means that I'm going to have to swap the picture tube with another compatible type. Now, where am I going to get a replacement Electrohome G07 picture tube? If only I had some spare picture tubes. They're not light, but this one says, good tube for G07. I think we have our winner. First, we just need to turn off and unplug the game. As a word of caution, cathode ray tube monitors operate on high voltage, and even if they're off and unplugged, for several years can store somewhere in the neighborhood of 75,000 volts. So use extreme caution. Now, with those pleasantries out of the way, I'm just going to use my bare hands. Go ahead and disconnect the power, and this particular monitor has a remote control board modification. Go ahead and unplug that, and we got to unplug the video cable. In all seriousness though, 75,000 volts can kill you, so you want to discharge the picture tube before you touch anything on the monitor. Now there are tools you can buy to do this, or you can make one yourself. I can't be held responsible for your safety, but here's how I do it. Use a long flat blade screwdriver, like this, and a wire with two alligator clips on it. Attach one of the clips to the shaft of the screwdriver, like so, and the other clip to a good ground point on the monitor. I happen to know that one right there is attached to ground on the circuit board. Now you want to slide the other one up underneath this anode, this suction cup right up here where the high voltage is, and touch the metal clip underneath. Being very careful not to touch any of the metal to your body, and you want to keep one hand at your side just in case electricity does flow through your body, it doesn't cross past your heart. Now be very careful, and you should hear a pop. Okay, and touch the metal clip under there. This time we didn't hear a pop, but I've already discharged this tube once before in a previous take that I screwed up, and there was a loud pop then. So even if you don't hear a pop, you want to wait a few seconds and do it again. Wait a while, do it again. It doesn't hurt to do it a couple times. I mean, you can't, better safe than sorry. Go ahead and touch it again. And then once you're done, when you slide it up underneath there the final time, go ahead and discharge the cup by pushing against the clip and releasing it from the monitor. And because the electrical charge is held inside the picture tube itself, it's a good idea to go ahead and touch where the anode connected to the monitor too, just to be sure it's discharged. And I don't see any sparking. It seems that we are good. So now I can go ahead and remove the monitor. Now we just need to unlock the coin door, reach up inside and unlatch the control panel. Both sides. There we go. We can flip the control panel forward, like so. Now we can reach inside and pull out the glass, just like that, and the bezel. Next, I just remove all these nuts from around the outside perimeter of the monitor. Now we should be able to just lift the monitor right out of the cabinet. Get a good grip here. It's quite heavy. Be careful. And there we go. Okay, now all that I need to do is move the chassis, which is the entirety of the electronics that drive the monitor, from this picture tube to this one. Now the keen of you may have already noticed that this picture tube is in a horizontally mounted frame, and this picture tube is in a vertically mounted frame. Now although Centipede uses a vertically mounted monitor, it's actually a horizontally mounted monitor turned sideways. Now why this makes any difference is because the frame has different mounting points, and in order for me to mount it back in my cabinet, I'll need this picture tube to be moved to this mounting frame. Okay, now let's very carefully remove our neck card here, just by wiggling it back and forth gently. Okay, there we go, that's disconnected. Now we're going to disconnect the degauss coil that goes around the outside of the picture tube from the board. Go ahead and unplug that. And unplug that. Okay. And then last but not least, we'll disconnect the deflection coils, which are here, 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 and here. Okay, now I believe oh, one more thing, we got to disconnect our ground wire here. There we go. And the tube should be free. Now all that I need to do is remove these bolts from the outside perimeter of these two monitor frames and swap the tubes. We'll skip that part because I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit fiddly. Alright, the old tube is out. The donor tube is installed. But the wire for the degauss coil is too short. The monitor oriented in the other frame reached the chassis just fine, but this coil's wire is shorter for this orientation, so I'll have to extend it. And wires extended, and all other connections connected. Alright, now we're just going to go ahead and fit this monitor back in here. Now we just plug everything back in. First the video cable. Alright. Now our remote control board. There. And our monitor power. Okay, that should be sufficient. Okay, well the monitor is reinstalled and reconnected to everything. But before we bolt it down and put everything back together, let's perform a smoke test. That is to say, turn everything on, make sure it works, nothing fails, and pray for the best. Here we go. Just gonna plug the game in. Cross your everything. And we're gonna turn it on. Alright, we do have a picture, but it is upside down. So what that means is that our deflection, the horizontal deflection, in this case the vertical on the picture, is reversed. Now that can be fixed. The whole thing needs rotated. What I'll probably do is flip the horizontal and vertical deflection coil polarity on the plugs, and that should fix our image. In order to do that, I need to change the order of the wires in this connector. The gray wire and the brown wire control the vertical deflection, while the red wire and the white wire control the horizontal deflection. So if I just swap the horizontal wires and the vertical wires with each other, that will change the polarity, thus reversing the image. Okay, how about now? And there we go. The picture is the right way around. This picture is much better. You can already see things are a lot more crisp, and there's no ghosting. I'm going to go ahead and clean the picture tube up, put everything back together, and we'll see if we can adjust it even a little bit more. There, I just finished fine-tuning everything, and boy does that picture look amazing.